Hello and welcome to my craft room. It's Mel at Inspired Crafts. I've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to find some silver letters that I've cut out. They were just above my glass mat and they have disappeared. So, yeah. Hopefully they'll turn up. If not, I will have to cut some more out. Anyway, that's by the by. Today's crafting, I'm going to be using the Balloon Festoon dies and stamp set, along with the new in colours, and yeah, I've got is that the right one? No, I've got the shimmer brushes, which, as you can see, I've not opened them. Barely blush. Got them in all of the colours, so they're, at the moment they're only in the new in colours. So I thought I'd have a look at those as well, because that will add some sparkle. If you're a fan of our Winkers Stella, they're a bit like that, but maybe not quite as glittery. You have to give them a good shake first, and then before you can use them, you take this white plastic ring out, give it a screw it back down, and then you've got, it says it on the side here, to push. So you do that, and you can see the ink coming down. Get a bit of get just a bit of white card, so we can have a look at this. All really little bits, but it'll be fine. So get it into the tip. Ooh. The tip's quite hard until it, I guess, until it gets the ink in it, and then it's like a brush. So that's softened up then with the ink in it. So you can do quite fine lines, but also you can use it as a brush. I don't know whether, say, it's not as, it's hard to see in this light, it's not as shiny as the Winkers Stella. It is shimmery rather than, I don't know, can you see that? It might be easier on one of the other colours. It probably doesn't help that it's quite dark and grey outside. Try one of the green one, that might show up better. So give it a good shake. They only arrived Monday, and I've not had a chance to play with them yet. So, right, let's give that a squeeze. Getting it moving. It's coming down. Ooh. You can see it better on there, I think. Let's just close that back up. See the shimmery? There's quite a bit of shimmer on that one. So I think it must just be a case of giving them a good shake. But anyway, pop that out the way. And pop those out of the way for now. Okay, so I'm going to use the Balloon Festoon and the in colours and I'm going to make a Z-fold card. This is the smallest balloon in the pack. I'll just show you because they're really good. So this is the balloon that I've used, and then you get the strings. But there's a really nice big balloon, so you can make balloon sort of banners or you know, cards possibly, but you could certainly make a banner with this. Sorry. And you've got these little shiny bits there, so like, you know, where the light catches on a balloon, so that's really good. Still, I am still searching for my silver letters. I cut them all out. I don't know where they've gone. So annoying. Sometimes it's like my desk is like I don't know, just things disappear. I don't know if anyone else finds that, but I was all prepared and now I'm not. Okay, so never mind. Right, we'll get on with making the card. This is crisp cantaloupe, quite a peachy orangey colour. It needs to be cut at 11.5 inches. So we're just taking a tiny sliver off. And then this is at 5.5 inches to start with, because we can score this as a whole piece. So the first score line we want is at 2 7/8, so this bit here. Okay, so 2 7/8, and then 5 3/4. Okay, and then we're going to turn it on its side and cut it at 4 inches. So we have a 4-inch piece and a 1.5-inch piece. I'm going to pop those to one side for a moment. Now, I might even decide to use some pattern, something a bit more colourful, as I'm doing this for probably doing this one more as a ladies card. So I'm going to cut first of all at 4 3/4 inches, and then I want a piece that is 2 5/8, and then another one that is 2 5/8. And I haven't measured this, so I don't know how long this is. It's not going to be the size that I want it. So I'm going to then cut another piece at 5.5 inches. So this is going to go on there like that. And then rather than put the flower on the bottom as well, I'm going to put it along going to put the other side on there. So I just need to cut that. If you get a little ridge, just run your bone folder or your thumbnail along there. This needs to be 1 1/4 inch. And this isn't going to be the most efficient way of cutting it, but it's just using up the little odd bits. And then so 1 1/4 inch by 2 5/8, and this will go on these bits. Two and 5/8, and then again I don't have a bit long enough for that here, so let's just find my paper pack. My dies are coming open. Right. To cut a piece from here, and I want it to go in the same direction. So just move that over. 1 1/4. By 5 1/2. And that bit will go on there. Right, bear with me. So now that I've chosen to use this, the silver letters don't matter anymore because I'll need gold ones, and I can do that quite quickly in a little bit. So this will all fit together like so. For quickness, thankfully I have cut the balloons, and I've also cut the strings. They're a bit tricky to pick up, but as you can see I've cut some shorter. And I've got all of my bits and pieces out. Now on this one I've just used the little dots just to give it a bit of a background. There's dots, there's like swirly bits with dots, there's stars, there's spots. So you can use any of those really to add some add something to the back of the balloons. Now this is barely blush, yeah. And I'm just going to do tone on tone. Starting with the barely blush so that I can just go on. I can just go on to the darker colour then. Just bear with me when I turn that around. Add a couple more there. Okay, so that's the barely blush. Crisp cantaloupe, because it's a darker colour, I'm not gonna worry about cleaning it, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna stamp tone on tone. So if you stamp it one way and then you turn it round, you can sort of line up the gap. Okay, so that's those stamped. Just pop those there. Now I'm not going to bring in my my big shot to do this. Big shot, my cutting emboss. I'm going to do that over there, but I will show you a very quick. Ooh, just got to find my gold. Some of my gold. Oh, I'm going to end up knocking everything off here. Right, so my gold foil. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I will need to do a couple of runs because obviously we need the P twice. But what I do to save cutting it all out is cut little bits, pop them on to the die and hold it in place with a little bit of washi tape. So that's the A. H. P. And the Y. So this is really good for using up little scrappy bits of your foil, getting the most out of it that you can. Okay, so that's all stuck on there now. So when I turn it over onto my plate, it will hold and it will cut properly. So just bear with me. Pop that down. H A P Y. As you can see, there are bits that are stuck, but that will easily come off with either using your nail or using a take your pick tool just to lift those off. I'm not going to do that at the moment though. I'm going to just pop it through again with another P. The other way you could do this is if you change your plates to be so that the plate that you cut into is on the top, and then you could put it down that way and run it through your machine. But this is just as easy. And it also saves you from accidentally putting it through up the wrong way. Okay, so this is our happy. And these are just going to be stuck on the balloons alternative. So we've got alternate colours. I've not put self-adhesive backing on these, but you can. Makes it a little bit quicker, just pulling the backing off. A. P. Ooh, P. Y. And while I've got these here, I'm going to stick these bits on, and I want to do them again alternate to the colour of the balloon. Just a tiny little bit of glue. You could, depending on what you're doing with these, you could put adhesive tape on, or adhesive backing on these, and cut them out. For the way I'm using them, I didn't want to do that. So, but if you're sticking them on flat onto a card, it would be a really good idea, or onto a scrapbook page. Okay, so we can just pop that out the way for the moment. And I'm going to, first of all, going to do folds. So you're making a Z, basically. So we can stick these bits down. You could do this in a different colour, this bit. You don't need to do it in the same as the colour for the base of this bit's in. It would look just as good, if possibly better, if you mix them up a bit. Okay, so that's that piece. And then this one needs to go this way. Now, I don't think it's directional as such, but to me it looks as though there's more flowers pointing this way. Okay, so that's the main structure of the card, and then we're just going to glue this flap onto here and this bit onto that side. So I'm going to line it up at the bottom. And then put that on there, give it a good press, and then it will fold quite easily. Okay, right, next I want to lay out my balloons so that I know where I'm going to put them. Okay, roughly like that. Now you can move them in these bits so that they tilt inwards a bit, and you've got almost like a bunch of strings. The first one is going to just be stuck down, and then just pop a little bit of glue on to that bottom. Now this one, I'm going to pop on a dimensional. And a bit of glue. And then that one, because it's then going to go over this piece here, I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of glue on that edge and a bit of glue there. And again, I want to be able to, this might need a bit of, yeah, so these two will need some window sheet on them, which I have here. I find the easiest way of attaching the window sheet is by putting some of your, get it running, some of the seal on. It's possibly best to have it, put your window sheet on something you can, where you can see it. Just pop it on like that. And then what I'm going to do is end up with the window sheet going behind. So I just want to pop another bit of sticky onto there. Make sure it's all attached. Okay, so that's going to go behind there and sit like that. And then again, this one here needs, I'm only cutting quite a small sliver. Doesn't need to be too big at all, and of course that one will go higher up. And again, I put just a little bit of glue down there. And a bit of glue on the very end of there. Okay, like so. So they stick, they look as though they're floating. Now, depending on what you want to do with these, you can stick them right the way down. I'm going to put a the birthday bit going across, so it should cover that up. So I'm just going to cut those off. Put that out the way. Okay, so that's your happy. And now bring this back in. I want to to use a relatively big birthday. So I think I'm going, this is the Fabulous Sayings, which was product of the month a while ago. So if you've got this, it's really good. It's got a nice size birthday that will go on there. Just find a block. Now obviously I only want the birthday bit, and I want a scrap of scraps of card. So this is Barely Blush, and it will tie it in. I'm going to stamp in Crisp Cantaloupe. I always forget when I open these. I always open it that way and think I'm going to have the ink pad in this side, and it's just getting used to them. They're really good. I'm really pleased with them. They're great for opening and closing. It's amazing. It's so easy. I think they've got to be the easiest ink pads ever to open and close. I can't wait really to get all of the others. But they're not going to come out just yet. Okay, so I've masked off the happy, okay, with some washi tape. You can use post-it notes or some of our masking sheet. I'm just going to do a few hits, but just make sure you take this then off before stamping. Okay, could have done with it being a bit darker, but it's fine. Somewhere, I think these are the ones that fell. I have my stylish shape, so I'm just going to run this through the machine. Roughly even. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to pop it there so I don't lose it. And this is going to go on here with my dimensionals. Just going to pop a couple of those down the middle. So that will cover those nicely. And then I don't have any other embellishments in colours, so I thought, well, yeah, these are perfect to go with this anyway. So I'm going to use a couple of the little butterflies and just pop one on a balloon, so it's like that. I just bit of now, of course, you could use stamps, you could do more balloons over there. I'm just going to, on this one, I'm going to leave this bit. I did make a card for my daughter to give to my husband the other day, and it was a similar theme, but it had like the banners, so like this one where it had the banners and this bit, and then I cut out the word dad and put that on, so I made it a bit more personal. So I might add a person's name when I decide who I'm going to send it to. Okay, so writing wise, we're going to pop a bit on the back. So I'm going to get some white for this. I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4 by 5.5. Now, you can stamp on here, you could add a bit of the designer series paper just to tie it all in. It's up to you really. I might, because that's long enough, I might add a bit, or I might actually use the stamps, but I'm going to find them. Hang on. So like you've got the banner, so I might actually use the banner. I've got that out. No, I did it in the right way this time. I want a piece of scrap just to go underneath so that we can stamp over the edge a bit, really. So that's like a nice bit of a banner. I'll try this in the lighter colour, it might be, hopefully it will be okay. Like so. And then we've got happy birthday, so this is let's celebrate. So we've got a bit of stamping, make sure I put the right one back on there. Bit of stamping, a bit of decoration. I might just pop a little bit of this down the side. I've got a bit cut. So again, it just needs to be 3 3/4. Do that bit. I'm just going to cut it at, if I can, at 1 centimetre. I don't normally cut things at centimetres, but just cutting it at 1 centimetre and it will go on there. Just adding that little bit of decoration. Still got plenty of room to write, so that's good. Pop the glue on the back. There we go. So that's my happy birthday Z-fold balloon festoon cards. Okay, I shall obviously be uploading everything onto my YouTube channel and my blog as quickly as technology allows. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.